In verse 1, the author, we believe Paul, gives us a classic definition. Most of you can probably cite it, recite it. He says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things what? Not seen. So what is faith? Well, in a layman's term, in a regular vernacular, faith is confidence in what we cannot prove by direct observation. Confidence in what we absolutely cannot prove by seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, tasting it, touching it. We can't prove it, but we accept it. All of my life as a child, I would hear preachers say, and I get, don't misunderstand me, I get what they're saying. They would say things like, faith is if I decide I'm going to sit down in this chair, I have the faith that's going to hold me up. Well, I can see this chair. I can see that the legs touch the ground. I can touch this chair. I can smell this chair. If I'm stupid enough, I can lick it and taste the chair. I mean, my senses tell me that the chair is there. But what if there is no chair that I can see? What if Brother Ken says, hey, preacher, I've crafted something for you. It's invisible, but it's going to hold you up. And I walk over here, and I try to touch it, and I can't touch it, and I can't see it, and I can't smell anything. And I say, Ken, are you sure this is a real chair? You're not playing a joke on me. You real? And he said, yeah, Pastor, yeah. And I sit down, and I decide I'm going to sit down. That's faith. Something I can't see, something I can't taste, something I can't touch, something I can't explain, something for which I don't have the senses. I think one of the greatest examples of faith for us as believers is found in Genesis chapter 1, the story of creation. It takes faith for us to, in a society that's turned its back upon the idea of creation, recognize that this universe was created by the spoken word of God. God said it, and there it was. So now let's dive in. If we understand that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, keep reading verse 2. For by it is faith. The it there is the pronoun antecedent is faith. For by faith, the elders, the Old Testament saints, obtained a good report. Verse 3, through faith, this is the story of creation, we understand that the worlds were framed by the Word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. All right, so now that we've defined faith, we understand what it is. It's that confidence, that acceptance, if you will, of things you can't see, you can't explain, you can't taste, you can't touch. We've got a hold of that. And we understand, according to the author here, that we believe that this is the same principle by which the elders, the Old Testament saints, were saved. Now the author highlights for this Jewish audience. Listen now, this is so important. Why are these people included? The author highlights for this Jewish audience the names of the individuals that they revere. He highlights how the names that they, if you'll allow me to use this phrase, that they place upon a spiritual pedestal were in fact exercising faith that they as Jews were now being asked to exercise. Remember, the Jews are being tempted, this body of Jews are being tempted to go back to Judaism. Rituals. You can see the rituals. You can hear the rituals. You can touch the rituals. There's no confidence in the rituals. The confidence is in the faith. And so now he begins to unpack, if you will, the names of these individuals, male and female, who exhibited tremendous faith. Let's tackle them. I've broken them up into 4 categories. We're going to hit them quick. Number 1, individuals who exercise faith in what I'm calling the primeval times. That's a beginning, if you will. So we begin in verse number 4. By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. It was Abel's faith in his offering, in his sacrifice. Why? Because God said, here's what the sacrifice should be. Abel accepted that by faith, brought that sacrifice to God. Cain brought something altogether different, did the littlest amount, if you will, the least he could do. God looked at the two sacrifices and said, one is by works, Cain's. The other is by faith, Abel's. Therefore, Abel's was counted righteous, and he, because of his faith, was considered righteous. God testifying of his gifts, and by it, he being dead yet